So problems and beam spans. So the first thing I'm going to do, just to make these worksheets flow a little nicer, is I'm going to go ahead, of course, and take both of my joist lengths, add them together, divide by 2, and that becomes my supported joist length or my tributary width. So I'm going to do that for every single one, so I can use my calculator and then I can put it away. So we have 2 joist lengths here of 3.048 plus 4.877. We'll divide that by 2, which gives us our supported joist length for the first problem of 3.963 meters. The next one, we have a 4.877 plus a 4.267. Divide that by 2, gives a supported joist length of 4.572 meters. And then we'll jump down to 3. We have a 3.048 plus 3.658. Divide that by 2, gives us a 3.353 meters. 3.658 plus a 4.877. Divide that by 2, gives us a 4.268. And then our last 2, 3.505 plus 1.829 divided by 2 is a 2.667 meters. And then our last one, 2.743 plus 3.658 divided by 2 is a 3.201. Okay, let's ditch our calculator and get our table. So our first table, of course, we're looking for what is the appropriate table. And the first thing we're going to look at is we have supporting 2 floors. So I'm going to make sure I choose a table that is supporting at least 2 floors, not more than 2 floors. And then I look for my commercial designation, which is the type of wood, SPF wood beam. So SPF isn't on this page. So let me pull out the next page for my spruce pine fir. So here we go. I've got my not more than 2 floors. I have my commercial designation, spruce pine fir, which is SPF. Now it's going to be number 1 grade. So number 1 and number 2. So these are all the numbers we're using, all the spans. And then of course, our next column is our supported length, which is our tributary width. These are our tributary width or supported length numbers here. Okay, let's go ahead and find out what our beam composition is. Here's our width and height. So it's a 184 joist. So it's going to be one of the 184 joists. We have to take the width of that beam and divide it by the thickness of our dimensional lumber, which is 38 mils. So 114 divided by 38 gives us 3 plies. So this is a 3-ply 38 by 184. So our first column is a 3-ply 38 by 184. All the numbers that I'm going to be using now are going to be in my spruce pine fir number 1, number 2. So these are my available spans, my maximum spans that are available right here. So now I'll match up my tributary width. So my first one is a 3.963, which means I'll have to move to a 4.2. So I will select a maximum beam span of 1.82. My next supported length is a 4.572. So 4.2 isn't big enough. We move up to a 4.8. Our maximum beam span is a 1.71. Okay, easy enough. Now let's go to our next table. We have supporting, okay, so now this table is supporting 1 floor, and then our last one also is supporting 1 floor. So let's go ahead and change tables to supporting 1 floor, and it's got to be hemlock fir. Okay, so they're supporting 1 floor right there. Hem fir, supporting not more than 1 floor. Now let's go ahead and look up our size of our beam. So it's a 114 by 235. So this is a 2 by 10. Let's go ahead, and we know that the 114 divided by 38 is a 3-ply. So it's going to be a 3-ply 38 by 235. So there is our 3-ply 38 by 235. So now we can go ahead and we're looking for hem fir, select structural, which is right here. So all of these numbers are going to be our available beam spans in our select structural rows under the column of a 3-ply 38 by 235. So let's match up our tributary widths or our supported lengths. We have a 3.35, so we're gonna have to move to a 3.6. We scroll over, our maximum beam span is 3.7 meters. We'll then go to a tributary width of 4.26. Oh, so we just have to move up to the 4.8. It has to be equal to or greater than our supported joist length we have. So at a 4.8, the maximum beam span is a 3.24. All right. Now our next and last table, we're going to be going for the Douglas fir. Oh, that's on the same table here. Let's move this over. So here's our Douglas fir supporting one floor, supporting not more than one floor. And in this case, our beam is made up of, it's a 152 width and it's a 286. 286, of course, is a 2 by 12. So let's go ahead and take our 152 and divide by 38 to see how many plies. That is a 4-ply 38 by 286. So 4-ply 38 by 286, it's way down at the other end there. So I'll try and get a bit more room. So 4-ply 38 by 286. That is our last column right here. Okay, so we have Douglas fir #1 grade. So Douglas fir #1 and #2. Here's our tributary widths, and here is our selection of maximum beam spans. So the first thing we have is a 2.667. So #1, #2, 2.667, 2.4 is not enough. We'll move up to the 3.0. Our maximum beam span is a 4.35. And then our last one, we have a 3.2 for supported length. We'll move up to the 3.6, scroll over. Our maximum beam span is a 3.97.